good, man. My voice is probably going to go.
It's all the pollen.
It's all the pollen. Right.
You actually sound better now.
Dave, let that song go for about 45 seconds. Let everybody get back on. Oh, I know. When you start seeing viewers, we'll go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other. You control and run this show. We're just a rudder that steers this big old ship. This is a show that is wide open, no limits, as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, where we spotted Mitchell's relative, Melrose, Brooker, Hampton, Middleburg, Jacksonville, and other surrounding areas. If there is a story to be reported or dissected, On the Spot is the first to handle it. We also discuss happenings in Florida, as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now, let me introduce the show team, the guys who bring the mood to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog himself, our executive producer, Super Dave Devil Holland.
Well, that's a mouthful.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, our operations director and advertising and marketing guru, John, better than Snow Spruce. Hello, John.
Hola.
He said hello. Behind the scenes, providing us with up-to-date information, our sports production assistant.
Stuff you've been looking for.
Probably. With our sports production assistant, with our... I can't even get through the dadgum opening of the show without anybody saying anything. Us, Byron. Our sports production assistant, Roger the Tornado Cruz. And our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens. And now my co-host. To my left, the historian and governmental whiz on all things national and international, Byron, the one who helps keep our freedom and rights Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
And to my right, with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American scout, and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon there, Mitchell. How are you?
Hi.
And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes and
the show pony.
Welcome to the show. We are coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, and we want to thank our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for their hospitality. Just a reminder about the new and improved ADO, so you, the viewer, has your say. Anytime a story hits near and dear to the hearts of our viewers, or you have any questions or comments, we jump right into ADO. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard. Do you want to tell everybody what ADO is?
Another
Audience. No,
Okay.
no, it's not.
It's audience-driven overtime.
Audience-driven overtime, that's right. And now before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors, the companies and groups that allow us to provide the services that we do. Welcome to the Sponsor Spotlight, starting with our very own Dave Holland and the rest of the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut, located in the Deerfoot Village, open 7 days a week. 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, 12 to 4 on Sunday. Tonight's show sponsor, Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClinney. Don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle at 904-368-1114. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for all of your towing and automotive needs. Byron, hit that next one.
Williams Jewelry of Stark, open 9 to 5:30, Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. 9 to 4 on Wednesdays, and 10 to 4 on Saturdays.
How about you, Mitchell? Hit that one now.
On-the-spot lawn maintenance. Let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters and pressure washing covered and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Just find us on Facebook or call 904-966-1633.
Man, I own that thing, man. Hey, we're getting ready to cut yards. We got 13 yards next week. Good grief.
Hey, it's that time of year.
Yes, it is. Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment. Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida. Home of Leonard Skinner, by the way.
Yes, sir.
If you've been injured in an accident, visit www.piplaw.com.
One of our favorite people have already made a comment that I need to go over just real quick.
All right.
Is it me, or does the show pony's voice sound a little hoarse?
I will stop right here and say yes. I've had some sinus drainage. Pollen in the air is real thick, and it's affected my voice. It was worse today, and we'll get into that a little bit. It was worse today. So it's actually gotten a little bit better. But yes, the show pony's voice.
Pony, horse.
Pony, horse, pony. Yeah.
I think that's what he was getting.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. But I wanted to explain that. Good grief. Are you kidding me? Who is that? Never mind.
It was Austin.
Yes, it was. Michael Qualls and Lazy Q Productions. If you need a jingle for your jangle or catchphrase for your business, contact Mike Qualls with Lazy Q Productions. We would love to welcome our newest sponsor. Look at this. Mrs. Clean Housekeeping Services, commercial and residential cleaning. Call Karen today for your free estimate, Byron, at 352-575-5835. How about that? You get your house clean? You'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass until after I
Yeah.
get that carpet out of there and put some.
And there you go. There you go. And last but certainly not least, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They've got all your dental needs covered. Located conveniently on Dunn Avenue in Jacksonville. Call Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958 and mention OTS and get 10% off that bill. How about that?
Yeah.
If you would like to become one of our sponsors, call John Probst at 904-782-7101 or email the team at onthespot32091@gmail.com. And now it's time to get started with our show, starting off with the prayer, the pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. Bow your heads, please. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let's thanks again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Let's thank you for the greatest country we live in today, the United States of America. Thank you for our armed forces and our armed force people, dear Lord, that's helping keep our rights and freedoms protected from all the evil that's out in the world today, dear Lord. Thank you for just giving us another great day, a glorious day. Thank you for the light that we have. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day that goes in nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you bless and touch those people as they need it. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen.
All right, all right. Let's stand for the pledge. Mr. Probst, Mr. John Probst, will you lead us in the pledge, please, sir?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right, Mr. Bagwell. Always we got a quote of the week, and you showed me that particular quote, and it looks really, really good. So Why don't you tell everybody what you got for us?
Well, socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery.
Wow. Nice, powerful statement right there, Mr. Bagwell.
Very
You
good.
want to explain a little bit what that means?
Well, Winston Churchill was a smart man who was dealing with socialism back during World War II,
Right.
coming from the Nazis, coming from his own party, one of his, well, not his own party, but part of the parties
Right.
in the British government.
Yep.
And he'd
By the way, which is Parliament, if anybody. Parliament.
yeah,
That's right.
correct.
That's correct.
It's
That's right.
bicameral. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can discuss that at a later time. But basically, he had seen what socialism did to nations and do to nations, and he'd studied history enough to understand that socialism doesn't work.
Right.
And in another great prime minister's words, socialism only works till you run out of other people's money.
Wow, that's exactly
You
true.
know who
man.
said that?
Would that be Miss Margaret Thatcher?
That would be the Iron Lady herself, Miss Margaret
How
Thatcher.
about that, huh? David knows a little history.
David
Just a little bit of history. Yeah, we always have some trivia questions anyway. So, again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers right here. I am your host. To my left, I got Mr. Byron Bagwell. To my right, I've got Mr. Mitchell Gunner. To my left over here, out of the screen, and going to give his bio tonight, Mr. John Probst. He thought I forgot about that. Over here to my right is our senior and executive producer, Mr. Dave Holland. And we've got some guests in the house tonight, Byron.
Yes, we do.
Anytime you want to come see the show live, you can. And we've got a couple of people in there tonight. First and foremost, one of the guys that we love, one of our brothers, Mr. Dwight Allen's in the house. He brought us some cowboy beans.
Yeah, he sure
And
did.
got us some beans. Thank you, brother.
They were great.
Yes, sir.
And this is how I know that the email works. Miss Lucy Davis is in the house with us tonight. She emailed the show and said she'd like to meet the crew.
Oh.
And guess what?
She's here and meeting the
she's
crew.
here meeting the crew. So Miss Lucy Davis is with us tonight, right here live, right here with us.
And we can also sign autographs afterwards.
Yes, you sign them every day, don't you? You got more airtime than dadgum President Trump.
Somebody told me you only
Yeah,
sign autographs
yeah.
in your boxers. Is that true?
Is that true?
I'm not going to. I can't say or deny.
Oh.
Mr. Blue Eyes, Mr. Frank Sinatra. How about that? You can't? Can you confirm or deny that?
I cannot confirm or deny.
All right. Here's. I ain't getting it.
Spreading the news.
Yeah, you got that right. So let me get to the weather here. So that's Austin's weather service right here. And here's a quick and dirty for this Saturday night, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service. Contact Austin's Weather Service on Facebook for your up-to-date forecast. Quick work by Stark Firefighters prevented a major fire on Madison Street near Winn-Dixie this afternoon. A dryer caught fire. We've talked about that before. At One Stop Laundromat this afternoon, but the fire was extinguished with no damage to buildings or any injuries. So that's awesome right there. Where I work at over in Lake City, Columbia County man died after his car overturned Friday night. 55-year-old Gary Stone was driving on County Road 25A in Lake City Friday night when he drove into a railroad bed, which caused his car to flip, hitting a light pole. Yeah. The Bradford County Sheriff's Office turkey shoot has been rescheduled for Friday, April the 3rd. The event kicks off at 11 a.m. And by the way, you know what the sheriff said? Keep those guns in the car.
We cannot take those
No.
rifles there.
No, we can't.
Only 20 and 12 gauge with bird shot.
Right.
So don't go up there with your AR or like
Dragging
we asked
off.
him a dragon off or an
Dragging off.
M1A.
An M1A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that we had him a little worried.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I can't. That means I can't take my 308 either, man.
No. You're done with that too.
No 308.
So, and now, with a little bit of a mix-up, Maury Povich called today and told us he knew 100% who Byron's long-lost brother is. Drum roll, please. Yeah. And it's none other than the current head coach at Florida Atlantic University and former Florida State Seminole head coach. Congratulations, Byron Bagwell. Your stepbrother or your brother is Willie Taggart.
Yeah, I wish he really was because I'd have fixed that mess last year and the year before. Or got kicked out by my own brother.
Come up with that one, Willie Taggart. Oh, my God, that'd be rolling, man. He kept that hit.
Oh, God.
So
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so
thank
you and Willie Taggart
Anytime.
are, anytime. You hear that? Good grief. Yep. Hey, you'll now have to fall into Florida Atlantic now. Maybe he'll put you on the coaching staff since you're related.
No.
Okay. You'll pass?
I will pass.
He might give
Okay.
you free tickets.
I would
He
have.
may give you free tickets.
I don't care.
Okay.
How about if they go undefeated?
Yeah.
Mitchell's got good ones tonight.
Hey, go undefeated in the zero column with wins.
Yeah.
0-10. Yeah, he's going undefeated, all right.
Undefeated.
Oh, God, you got that right. Anyway, found out, by the way, Roger's son, I actually met him today. Really met him. Angelo Cruz. Angelo. You know what his middle name is? Juan. Angelo Juan Cruz.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? How about that?
Chi.
Well,
Is it Rivera?
Yeah.
I wonder where Roger got that name.
I don't know, but he's taking his son tonight to the Florida Twin Theaters, and they're actually watching a movie tonight.
Oh.
That
The
must
Call
be-
of the Wild. How about that?
I
That's
figured
kidding.
he probably went to go watch Sonic.
No, wait. Oh boy. Really, Mitchell? Gotta go there. Oh my God.
How old is his son?
15 now.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
No, wait a minute. He looks 15. He's 8. Oh my God. John, get us back on track here, will you? This show's going off the damn gum rails. All right.
We're going to the wrong
We're
place.
going to the wrong place. Tonight's weather, sponsored by Austin's Weather. Tonight, mostly clear with lows 51 to 55, southwest wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. Sunday, partly sunny with highs 66 to 71, not a bad day. South winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with lows 58 to 61, southwest winds around 10 miles an hour. Monday, a slight chance of showers with thunderstorms, also possible afternoon. Mostly cloudy with highs 69 to 73. Hey, reasonable and mild right there. South wind 10 to 15 miles an hour. The chance of you getting some participation, Dave, or rain, as he put it right here, 20%.
Tomorrow?
No, Monday.
Monday?
Monday night, cloudy with lows 61 to 65, southwest wind around 5 miles an hour. Tuesday, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly afternoon. Cloudy with a high of 71 to 75. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Forecast issued at 6 p.m. At local tonight,
Right.
So may have changed a little bit. So that was for actually for Pascagoula and Pensacola and Tallahassee. So anyway, right here, yeah. So he says we have a freeze warning in effect from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. What? Sub-freezing temperatures as low as 30 expected. That's in Georgia. That's in Florida, Hamilton, Suwannee, Baker, Northern Columbia counties, and Southern Columbia counties. He doesn't catch us in that, but you may want to watch out. So, and that's from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's coming up morning, Sunday morning. Impacts, frost and freeze conditions could kill crops and other sensitive vegetation. So that means Roger's garden is probably going to be toast.
There's a garden.
He likes toast anyway. Precautionary preparedness actions. Appropriate action should be taken to ensure your tender vegetation and other pets have adequate protection from the cold temperatures. Young children, the elderly, and the homeless are especially vulnerable to the cold. Take measures to protect them. And Austin, we appreciate your weather report.
Certainly
And
do.
you can
Thank
catch Mr. Austin Stevens' weather report on his Facebook page. You know that?
Yeah.
How about that? On his
It's on it
Facebook
plenty
page.
of times on his Facebook page.
Yeah, I catch it every morning at 3:30 when he's dinging it. Ding, ding, ding.
Sometimes it's a good thing.
That is a good thing, man, because you know what? I didn't know it was going to rain one day, and he beamed me at 3:30. Man, I was all over it. So
Yeah,
Austin,
it's
great
a
job
good
on the
thing.
weather. Yeah, he's out of Keystone Heights. Believe it or not, that young man's 17 years old. He's got a eye problem. He's actually legally blind. He can see things up really close, but his dream is to be a meteorologist. And we're going to help him fulfill that dream, aren't we?
Yes,
We
sir.
are
If
going
he
to push
keeps on
him to do
doing
it.
what he's doing now with the weather
Yes.
and being as accurate as he is, then he's not going to have a problem with that.
Hey, it's better than out there robbing banks, isn't it? or doing any kind of other things.
Robbing banks. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I seen that on the ID channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So actually, who it was Mitchell's brother that was robbing.
Give me all your money.
Oh, dear God.
Mitchell's segment. We're going to the local. Y'all hush. Yep. This thing's gone off the rails. John's let it go off the rails. Dane's let it go off the rails. Yeah. Byron, you've let it go off the rails.
It's fun day.
It is
Saturday.
a fun day. It is a fun day. Before we get to Mitchell's, before we get to, oh boy, you're going to type that in, ain't you? Hey, before we get, no, was that about me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Archie Waters said, "Oh no, not Rodgers, Gummy Bear Garden."
Oh! Gummy Bear Garden, good grief. Before we get into Mitchell's segment, we've done a little thing that we like to do. It's called bios, where everybody gets to know everybody. You, the viewer, get to know us a little bit personally. Yeah,
Yes,
he
you
did.
did.
He stopped. Yeah, no. So I've given mine. Byron's given his. Mitchell's given his. Dave gave his last week. So now it's Mr. John Probe's turn to come give his bio. John, I would like for you to pull your chair around unless you want to give it from the side. It don't matter. I'd like for people to see you, what you look like. You're a handsome young man. So won't you come pull
Don't
around?
flirt with me now.
Well, of course I'm going to flirt with you.
Lord.
Slide over just a
Y'all
little bit,
flirt with
Byron.
each other. I'm scooting over this way.
Yeah. Well, you remember what I told you happened at the VA hospital.
Well, you know who your brother is. You know he likes.
Yeah, he likes that. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to Mr. John Probst. He's going to tell a little bit about himself, give him a little bit of his history. John does our marketing and advertising, and he also helps out with this quick and dirty, so that we give each and every show. So, John, welcome in. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 20.
What? 20?
Yeah.
Hopefully this won't be very long.
No, it shouldn't be very long. Yeah, go ahead. No.
I grew up in Jacksonville. I lived in Jacksonville until I was in 8th grade, and then I moved to Bradford County. I lived in Lottie until I was in 11th grade, and then moved to Stark, and I've lived in Stark since then. My very first job was Pizza Hut. I loved it. I still do. I go there all the time. And then I've just kind of gradually evolved. So I did the food business. I did sheet metal. I worked at a place off of 16 for a few years, doing some sheet metal shelving for bookmobiles. I've also done production camps. I spent 3 years doing every summer. I spent 2 months traveling the United States, setting up production camps and doing full live broadcast of concerts and whatnot. And did that on and off for a couple of years. And then I ended up at the sheriff's office. And so now I'm a dispatcher here for now until things progress and
Right.
I move on to even bigger and better. But yeah.
Good deal. I want to ask you a couple of questions. I'm sure the panel does too. What's your middle name? Yeah. He was. I thought he was gonna get away from
I
that.
have 2 middle names.
Okay.
First one's Daniel, second one's Franklin.
Okay. I know.
So I'm
That's
20
good
and I
names.
sound like I'm 80.
So no. John Daniel Franklin Snopes.
Sure.
Okay, if I want to put it that way. All right. You got a question, Dave? You got a question?
How many kids do you have?
None.
How many siblings do you have?
I have, well, if you count the ones that I don't talk to, there's, let's see, 3 sisters, 3 brothers.
Wow, 6, 7
Big
of you.
family.
7 of you, right? Wow,
Big
7.
family.
That's a big family. Okay.
Where are you at in that list of
I am,
7?
so my biological father, I'm his youngest. My mother, I'm the youngest. So I'm the youngest.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what is the age range? 20 to.
My oldest brother is 40, just turned 40 a
Okay.
couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And then I'm 20, so about 20 years.
Wow. Okay, that's a nice age difference right there. Byron, you got a question?
What schools did you go to?
In Jacksonville?
People that watch from Jacksonville in here.
Yeah.
So I started out at Christ the King for daycare,
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of pre-K. And then I went to Woodland Acres until 3rd grade, and then from 3rd grade to 5th grade, I was at Holiday Hill, over by Happy Acres. And then for middle school, up until when I moved here in 8th grade, I was at Mayport Coastal Sciences Middle School, which is a magnet school for coastal sciences.
Right.
So basically, part of your academic study was to learn how to become basically a marine biologist.
Right.
So it was really cool. So we were literally between walking distance to Hannah Park. So we would always walk to Hannah Park and collect like crab shells and jellyfish and things from the beach to take back and kind of study. It was really cool to do in middle school.
Did y'all help? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Did y'all help? Me and Dave's on the same wavelength here. Did y'all go out and rope off turtles' nests to help keep people away from them?
Yep. And then right before they would come, we would take the entire school basically would take turns going out one Friday, and we would clean up the beach before the turtles were scheduled to come in. And we would clean up the beach.
That's
and
interesting.
rope off areas, and then.
How you doing with your job here at the sheriff's office?
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
You're in
different.
training. You're in training right now. So everybody, he is in training. He's real close to getting done. How close? I mean, you're pretty close to being full-fledged dispatcher, right?
Less than a month.
Less than a month. So
So did you go to high school here, or did you go to high school?
High school here.
High
So
school
we're
here.
to Bradford here.
tell everybody what you was involved in, because I knew you when you was in high school. So tell everybody
Do
what
we
you
have
was
enough
involved.
time for that?
Well, you can just you can brief it if you want, but
Yeah,
we got plenty enough. Yeah, we don't have to do any of this other stuff. We want to hear about you.
John, we
You're
got
20
plenty of
years
time.
old.
So, yeah, but my report in high school was 40 years. So I was in band for 3.5 years.
Mhm.
I played a little bit of the French horn, a little bit of trumpet,
Really?
mostly trombone, baritone, and I spent 1.5 years on tuba. I was in ROTC. I graduated as the lieutenant colonel, so the battalion commander.
Go ahead. No, that was good.
I know, but still. So I was in ROTC. I couldn't enlist in the military because I have Tourette's, sleep insomnia, and asthma. And so I can get a waiver for 1 or 2 of them, but they wouldn't give me a waiver for all 3. So then I decided to move on and do other things. So I did that. I was also part of the school advisory committee. So basically, I was one student on a panel of community members, administrators, parents, staff, that basically we met once a month to figure out what we could do to make the school better. And so that was pretty interesting to be on. I was the principal's pet.
I know this. I know this, and I know you know how I know this because Shelly would tell me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you knew you was real
yeah.
tight with Shelly
Oh yeah.
for a long time.
I was
Yeah,
tight with
so-
everybody in the office, and so I knew everything that was going on.
Right.
Which I like because I like to know what's going on, and everybody would always ask me, "Well, what's going on with this? What's going on with this? What's going on with this?"
Right.
Well, here you go. And that's my thing. I like to be involved. I also spent 2 years in the ESC classroom,
Yep.
volunteering with the ESC kids,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of learning how to handle that class.
Was you in there with Autumn when Autumn was doing it as well? No, you because you were behind Autumn, so you wasn't in the same. Okay, because Autumn did the same thing like you did.
Trying to think of what else I was involved in. I did sound for the Miss Bradford Fest for a couple years.
Okay,
And then other than that,
so graduated high school.
graduated in 2017.
Right. I'm old.
Not yet.
David, the last class that I taught in middle school and high school, we're now in our 30s, so I don't want you to hear that.
Oh, I know. Yeah. If I was a teacher, you wouldn't want to hear the age of the students I taught.
John, what's your relationship with the Bradford County Fair? I know that you're going to be involved in working the Bradford County Fair that's coming up.
I don't have an exact title, but I do work for the fairgrounds, so I work
Okay.
for the fair association. So basically, I'm the gopher. I do whatever needs to be done. Today, we put up a 70-foot tent that collapsed twice on top of chickens and rabbits today. So it's just kind of as things happen,
Right.
we just kind of fix it, and we basically are there to provide support to everyone who's a vendor or
Right.
the carnies and whatever they're doing.
Do you work for Artie Ricks over there? Do you work for Artie?
Artie works for me. I don't
Artie
work
works for Artie. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I like that. Artie, if you're listening in, how about that?
I don't work for Artie.
Now-
Artie works for me.
Now, to explain what's happening, the reason why y'all are having to use tents and stuff, because the construction's not totally completed.
So the construction on the main barn
Right.
where we do all of our shows, is done.
Correct.
There's a little bit of cleanup that we still have to do before everything gets kicking this week. But for the main part, all the fixtures are done. I stocked all the bathrooms with toilet paper today, so I know that everything's done.
Right.
They actually had a goat show in there today at 2:00. So I know that they're ready to go. The other two buildings, the construction company couldn't take all three buildings on and have
Right.
it done in the time
Exactly.
frame that we needed, especially with the fact that they're not only going to be barns, but they're evacuation centers. So
Exactly.
they're licensed and they're inspected and they're classified as disaster centers. So if anything were to happen, like one of the barns is going to be used for animals, and then the other two for people, and they have specific requirements of what we have to have. And so with all of the requirements that we had to have, plus going on with making sure that we have everything for the animals that we need and for the students to succeed, it just wasn't feasible. So we do have a plan though, where they're going to do a building a year.
Right. And I tell you, the arena part is huge.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
It's double in size.
It doesn't look like it whenever you look at the outside, but when you walk in that thing,
Oh yeah,
really,
it's definitely
it's
way
huge.
bigger.
So we've got
Way
bleachers lined around the outside. We got a pen built in the middle with shavings and dirt and everything. So I mean, we're ready to go.
And we're
I'm-
gonna
and I'm hoping what we can do later on is we can start having like an annual rodeo show or something like that in that building. Or
yeah.
I don't know if it's big enough, but it would be nice to have some professional bull riding competitions in there.
I like that.
That actually bring a lot of revenue into Bradford County, and especially since
Or
we-
shows, anything.
or shows, yeah. So
Okay.
definitely, if we have that venue like that
And
in
I think
place,
and we get some state funding for being a disaster
Right.
center.
Right.
But I think another plan is to annex the riding club and to be able to
That'd be
upgrade
great.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And do better things with that. And then, we can't have three nice barns and then a riding club that's not up to date. So we're gonna try to do all of it together and try to make it all up to date to where we can use it all and make money with it all.
How are the acoustics in the place?
Great.
Oh, there's the idea.
Yes.
Because you
The
can put a
inside
stage.
concert.
Yes,
Oh,
concert,
yeah.
yes. So,
Oh, yeah.
since John brought up the fair, and I know you're going to bring it up as well, we're going to actually be doing our show live from the fair on Tuesday night at 7:00. So, for all you viewers that are tuning in, and also next Saturday night at 7:00 as well, we'll be doing it right there from the sheriff's booth, where John and Michael and several other people are involved getting that set up as well. We will be doing the show live from there like we did last year. Man, we had a bunch of people come by. We was able to say hello. So if you're coming by, stop by and say hello. Love to have you.
definitely.
And we may put you on there. Who knows? May be able to go live with us and talk about a few things. So if you're at the Bradford County Fair this week, stop by and see On the Spot with David Rodgers and the crew. And like I said, maybe you're done. Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night at 7:00. So anything else for John? We're going to let him get back to work. John, that was a really good bio. Appreciate you.
Can't really think of anything else right now.
Well, I tell you what, for 20 years old, that was a lot of stuff and a lot of information right there that you were involved in and have been involved in. So we thank you for what you do for us here on The Spot. And I know your school and your community appreciates what you do as well.
Dave.
Yes.
Dave.
Yeah.
The other Dave.
Oh.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know if we just lost it or not.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. So, John, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Want to just take the time before we get into the local news with Mitchell Gunner. I want to thank all of our fans that are on. I see that Noah Gibson's on, Michael Heater's on. I want to see that Marie. Hello, Marie. I know she's on. Brady Rayberg, I hope he took his meds. He's on.
I saw Barbie
Yeah.
and Rob tonight.
Barbie and Rob. I seen Angie Rogers. I seen Sandy Freezy. Akeley was on. I see Mitchell Gunner.
Wow, I can
Is
be
on.
in two places at one time.
How in the hell do you do that?
Got to be good. That's all I
Okay,
gotta
that
say.
sounds good to me. So, yeah, talking about the allergies. Look, Arlene is on from the Rivals trivia team that do trivia on Thursday nights. Karen Sullivan, Michael Heater said. How about that? I don't suggest green tea. Yuck. Dylan Rogers, hey, there he is, right there. Bert Eddie McGee, Roger. Where you at, Rog?
Roger who?
I don't know. And he's with his son watching the movies. Caleb Patterson, thank you. Miss Lisa Alvarez Rogers, running for office.
That's right.
Hey, we're going to get into that a little
Yes.
bit too, and hopefully we'll have some of these candidates on. So Eddie Sigmund's joined us. Mr. Terry Vaughn's joined us. Look at there. Mr. Terry Vaughn, congratulations. I seen something on Facebook, and we commented on that you'll be retiring after this year. What a good man you were. I told you how I felt about you. It's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Definitely.
Period, bar none. And Tornado Football, he started that. His voice, his color commentator with Rick Gregg and all those guys. And it was an honor for him to choose me to be able to follow that, because I'm going to tell you right now, he was one of the best announcers in the state and still could be. Kevin Howe, and we love that gig. When we do that gig, you can tell, these guys will tell you, that's my church, that's my sanctuary right there. That's where I feel comfortable at. I really love calling Tornado football games, and we're probably about 174 days away from Tornado football, but who's counting the days?
Now that he's retiring, I wonder if you're going to get into comedy.
Well, probably, maybe, yeah. Yep.
Good comedian.
Yes, he would. He's got some great jokes. Terry, thank you for all you've done and all that you continue to do. I'm sure he's still going to be involved in the community in most aspects of what he does, because his voice is bar none.
Right.
So.
And speaking of which, out of his office, he's got a great lady that
he does
for him for I think 18 years. If I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's close to 18 years, and she's going to be running for that position. She's very smart, and she gets elected. I'm going to tell you, we're going to be in great hands with her.
Mm-hmm.
Terry has taught her a lot over those years, and I don't think you'll see that much of a big difference in when they go do the transition.
Right.
And like I told Mr. Vaughn earlier this week, when I found out that he was retiring from that position, that he has done a wonderful job with that office ever since that he has been in there. His involvement in going to our high school and getting kids registered to vote, and letting them know how important it is to have that voice to predict who our leaders are, and especially all the other stuff that he does for our community. He's, like I said, he's very active in all different types of organizations, and I believe he probably will continue some of that on.
Right.
I hope so. But if not, he's done a great job.
Yeah, and
Really?
I'm going to get with Terry, because I tell you what would be a real treat, and y'all will be up in the press box. I would love Terry to come back and sit with us for a quarter or a half, and both of us call the game.
Right. I'll tell
You know what I mean? And maybe bring Rick and Kevin. That would just be a tremendous thing. With you guys being up there, man, it would just be a tremendous thing to do, Terry. So I'm going to give you an invite to that, and let's do a game or two this year. And I think that would be awesome.
I'll tell you what else would be great, if we can get Mr. Bond to come on the show one night.
Absolutely. I talked to him about that. Yes, I would love to have Terry here. Yes, I would. Yes. So Marie, Liz is on. Noah Gibson's on again. Marie, hello. I know. Did I miss that? No, I got it earlier.
You got that earlier.
Yep. So 2 middle names. He said, Noah, to you. He said that's pretty much outstanding there. So, yes,
Most
hello.
certainly.
Roger needs to do his bio. Y'all can't leave him out. No, we're not leaving anybody out, Archie.
He will do it.
He will do it. He just doesn't happen to be here tonight. But next on the list, if he's going to be here, will be Mr. Austin Stevens. Austin Stevens will do his bio. So we're hoping to have him next Thursday or Tuesday. I don't know about the fair show, but we'll see how all that works out. I know it's going to be getting in there, getting out, trying to get people in. So logistics-wise, it may not work out, but we'll see what happens. So
Terry Vaughn commented and said deal.
Deal. Okay,
Right.
Terry Vaughn. That's
Very
that's very good. I was hoping that's what he would say would be deal.
I was
Hey,
pretty sure
you
he
know,
was
I
going to
was
say
looking
deal.
for him today to come to the show.
I was
because
too. I was.
He's got a wonderful vehicle.
Yes, he does.
It's just the wrong color, Mr. Vaughn. It should have been orange and blue.
What? You can't tell Mr. Vaughn that.
Oh, man.
No, Terry, you got the great looking car, doesn't he, Byron?
No,
That
it is.
garnet and gold, man, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful car.
It is a beautiful car.
It is.
I'm just joking around.
I knew you were. Brady Rayburn was at the car show. We'll be talking
That's
about
right.
that here in just a little bit. You can have wrestling too. Yeah, well, we've talked about that a little bit. I may have a little surprise on that wrestling thing. We've talked a little bit about that. That was come from Marie. Monster truck shows. Yep.
Tonight.
Yep, tonight over in Jacksonville. I think they're talking about maybe trying to bring it here when that arena gets
That'd
built.
be nice.
Oh,
I had
so
a girl call
Great.
in sick
I
today.
don't think it won't be big enough for that.
probably won't.
Yeah.
I had a girl call in sick today, and she forgot last week telling me that she's got tickets to the monster truck.
Oh boy. So what are you going to do?
Nothing.
I like that. Yeah, you hired? There you
Yeah,
go.
I am hiring.
There you go. David and Rodgers tag team. Oh, are you kidding me, Dwight Allen? What in the what? We done did that. Been there and done that, Dwight Allen. That's why you put that there. Mr. Dwight Allen is joining us live. Miss Lucy Davis is joining us live, sitting over here by Mr. Dave Holland. And she's seeing how things are going and working. She's met all the crew. So if you want to come live onto the show.
And she hasn't run away.
Not yet.
Not
And
yet.
we've said some things here where we probably could have run her off. Yeah. So, but anyway, if you want to come on the show and just email John, John picks it up or somebody will read that and you're more than welcome. Or you can message any of us and whatever you'd like to do if you want to come in and watch the show live. Chuck, Alicia Redding, hi, how are you? Randolph Denny's on with us. Terry Vaughn said, much appreciated, and we love you, man. Brady Rayburn, thanks, Mitchell, for today. All of you did a great job with the car show. Money to a great cause, and we'll get into that.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you coming.
Yes, absolutely. So, hey, Noah, how you doing? Jennifer Dodge Weller's on.
Hello, Jen.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having your son on Marie. He has autism, but he's very sharp and very smart.
Sure.
Yeah, we can talk about that. There's no doubt about it. So, all right, Mitchell, getting into it. We'll get some more comments here in just a minute. Sorry, he said he missed the car show.
Oh, no problem, Mr. Vaughn. Hey, we all got a bunch of things that we have to do, and we can't be everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, your segment tonight is sponsored by North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry. Call Dan at 904-751-4948 and mention the show, and you'll get 10% off your visit. So we're going on to the local aspect of our show. Our local guru, the guy that looks out for terrorism and anything else that doesn't belong, that's Mr. Mitchell Gunner. How you doing, Mitchell?
I'm a little tired.
Me too.
But I'll make
You worked me too hard today.
You done a great job today.
I appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Well, we'll go ahead and start off with some events. And, of course, everyone knows that starting March the 3rd is the Bradford County Fair. It will start at 5 p.m. through 11 p.m. through the week. And on Saturday, it will be from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Also coming up is a 6th annual Shoot with the Sheriff. And no, you cannot bring your ARs or Dragunov.
Didn't you notice he didn't say shoot at the sheriff?
That's right.
Because then you'd be part of that song, I Shot the Sheriff. Yeah, don't
You
want
might
that.
be wearing orange back here where we are.
But he wouldn't have shot the deputy, though.
No.
But that's actually going to take place from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you want more information or pre-register, please call 904-966-6320. All right. Also coming up, April the 18th is the Spring Plant Sale. This is put on by IFAS and the University of Florida. This will take place at, again, April the 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. The location is going to be at 2266 North Temple Avenue, Stark, Florida. If you're looking for some flowers, hey, and you need them for around your house,
right?
All the money goes to a great cause. So you need some flowers?
Maybe. I probably do. Yeah. Go there and get them?
Go there and get them. How many do you need?
Probably 1,000.
Because I bet you I can call Donna Schultz and
And she can give you 1,000?
we can hook you up.
1,000?
Sure.
Man, I'm already big enough for that.
You
I
got-
have to split it with all you
Let
guys.
me look at your thumb.
Let me see. There you go.
I don't see no green.
Okay.
No green thumb there. I don't know if it'll work. Also coming up in the
No
near
problem,
future
Frank Sinatra.
is the City of Stark's 150th celebration. This will be taking place on April the 4th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. There will be a cruise-in going on with this event. There will be live entertainment. Fireworks will be displayed. So come on down, and I'll tell you what, if you haven't had enough of the cruise-in and you want to participate in a car show, well, that next day, April the 5th, with the Strawberry Festival, you can enter your car. It's $15 to enter. We'll have about 27 awards. All the money goes to community and schools.
Yep.
And that's a great cause as
Yes,
well.
it is.
I love doing these events for nonprofit organizations and trying to help build them revenue. And speaking of Strawberry Festival, it doesn't just start on Sunday,
No.
but it will also start on Saturday, April the 4th. So let's see what we got here. April,
Fifth.
I
and
think
fourth.
I think it starts at 9 a.m.
I believe
on
you're
the
right.
4th and the 5th.
And that's right.
But the car show will take place from 10:30 to 3:30.
Right.
Okay, and news now. This is something that's a hot topic that's going on because we have the coronavirus
Mm-hmm.
that's possibly spreading. Today, a cruise ship was held up at Jacksport. The Carnival cruise ship is being held at Jacksport after a crew member was taken to the hospital this afternoon for feeling ill. The mayor of Jacksonville and his staff has been briefed. There are 2,500 passengers that are aboard, and currently they do not know the cause of the illness, but they're taking precaution. And I'll tell you, if that crew member has the coronavirus, they will hold that cruise ship
Yes, they
and
will.
everybody on it for a 15-day quarantine.
Yeah, or 14 days. That's what they're saying.
Right.
But you
14
can't get
days.
off. Yeah, well, you can't get off until the 15th day, just like you
Right.
said.
Yeah.
So, I hate people being in those situations, but I understand every bit what's going on, and the reason why we're quarantined is trying to keep
people from
the most
spreading
people
it.
spreading it all over
Right.
the place.
Yeah.
It's you take where it started in China. I mean, it's in every country now in the United
Yes, it
States.
is. Yep.
And I think even in Iran, they had 96 cases
Yep.
just in Iran.
In Iran.
So
Yep.
if you start feeling ill and not feeling well, go ahead and make a telephone call to your doctor. Get in there, go ahead and get checked, and that way you don't spread it to others.
Yep.
Take-
Yeah. We do, and I don't know if you've seen it on your live news feed, any of you guys. You do know we have a fatality with that here in the United States, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one.
Yes.
One
But we do have our
fatality.
first fatality with the coronavirus, or the association of the coronavirus. So,
And I mean, these
Yeah.
doctors and these people in these labs, they're working hard trying to find
Yeah.
a
A
cure
cure.
for it.
They're trying to find a vaccine just
right,
as hard as
yeah.
they're trying to find a cure, because that will stop.
Right.
Basically stop the spread of it, period.
Right. And I'm hoping maybe with warmer temperatures coming, maybe that will help fight that virus off as
Yeah.
well. If
It
it's
will.
somewhere like the flu, we're almost out of flu season now.
right.
But I tell you, we don't want that stuff.
I know a lot of people, Mitchell and Byron, don't like to take vaccines. Some people don't like to get the
Right.
flu shot. Some people don't like to get the pneumonia shots. But I'm going to tell you right now, I got both of them. And I know my voice don't sound great, but that's because of sinuses and pollen.
allergies.
It's not because of the flu. But I suggest that if you haven't gotten your flu shot or a pneumonia shot and or both, that you go and get that. You go and get that done, at least to protect yourself. Again, some of my family won't even do it. Oh, I don't like those shots. They make me sick. Well, if that coronavirus gets over
Would you
here,
rather be sick for 2 or 3 days, or
Yes.
would you rather be sick for a week to 2 weeks?
or possible
Death.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's
Because
face it.
more people
coronavirus.
die
Yeah,
from the
this is-
flu than what you
The-
realize.
Realize.
There's more deaths each year from the flu,
Flu.
than
Right.
there is definitely in the United States, inside of the United States, than it has been from the coronavirus.
And gentlemen, those numbers aren't decreasing; they're increasing each and every year. It's not a decrease in number; it's an increase in number.
There's some correlations between the two viruses, because what ends up happening with the flu is it affects older people who have weakened immune systems or already have health problems, just like the coronavirus does.
Right.
And the ones that you're finding that are getting sick and dying from it are people that are already sick to begin with.
That's correct.
What you're seeing is the survival rate is in people that are younger and healthier. Is what you're seeing. So I mean, it's not something you want to play with.
No.
But it's also not something you want to be prepared. In case it starts spreading. Hopefully they'll come out with a vaccine. Wash your hands. The masks. I can tell you right now, what they're showing for masks for people to use with the coronavirus, don't work.
No.
It won't. It won't keep you from getting the coronavirus. But what it will do is it will help people that already have it from spreading it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
exactly
what that does. You have to have in order to keep viruses from entering your body through your nasal passages and your mouth, things like that. You have to actually have a specially fitted mask. And what they do, and I can tell you because I have one for the job that I have, in case I have to go into somebody's place that's got something contagious. What they do is they take this mask and they take the size of your face, and they take this form-fitted mask and put it on your face. And then they put you in this hood, which looks like a giant space helmet.
Yes, it does.
And then they take and they use a puffer that's got a flavoring in it, and they squeeze it into the mask.
And you're not to smell it. If you smell it, then that mask is not form-fitting.
That's right. If you smell it, the mask doesn't fit you right, and they have to start over again with a different size mask.
I had to do that at FedEx because I was a dangerous good person.
So they put another mask on until you don't smell that.
Right.
That is the only way you will keep viruses from you breathing in a virus.
Right.
So the masks are basically useless for a person that doesn't have the coronavirus.
Right.
So there are some different ways you can keep yourself from doing that. One is to try to keep yourself healthy. You don't want to be sick and then catch the coronavirus on top of it.
Right.
And try to avoid large crowds.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you are around a bunch of people, try to do it in an open area, not a closed-in area.
Sure.
Right.
Pretty much the same thing goes along how you try to stay away from getting the flu. Use the same the same steps as you would for the common flu.
The World Health
your hand is vital.
Yeah.
And they say you don't necessarily even have to wash your hands with antibacterial soap.
Right.
Matter of fact, there's some studies been done that shows that antibacterial soap is not any more effective than regular old soap.
Right.
You just wash your hands. Because what happens with your hands is when you get stuff on them, you touch your face. You watch me. You watch me do it constantly, just like this. You touch your face. You infect
I do it all the time. That's exactly right. Yeah.
I do have a question though.
Sure.
When you put that hood and stuff on you, do you look like Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future?
Sort of. Yes.
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 It looks like a combination of an astronaut helmet and the biosuits that you see in some of those crazy movies like Outbreak.
Yeah.
Is what it
like
looks like.
The movie Virus that Brian Bosworth was in.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I was a dangerous good person over at FedEx, so I had to do that because in case we ever had a dangerous good spill or something like that, I was responsible for getting everybody out there and clean that up. First thing they test you for is that respirator. You got to have that respirator on there.
You have to have that mask.
Yes, and they make you do all kinds of things in it. They make you jump around or count or
stand up and speak while it's going on.
Yeah.
Yawn.
So.
Yeah.
So there's different things to those tests. So,
we weren't worried about that type of stuff. The thing that we worry most about is TB.
TB, yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. And now the hep probably, right? Hepatitis?
No, hepatitis is not as bad.
Okay.
You don't hardly hear much about hepatitis anymore because they've got a cure for Hep C, for Hep C now. Yeah. Hep B they don't, but Hep C they do, which is the one that was most common. Matter of fact, they've got 2 different cures for Hep C now.
Right.
And one other treatment that I hope they never use because people told me that it was worse than the disease itself.
Mm.
Interferon was the name of the drug,
Right.
and it said it did really bad things to your body.
Oh boy.
Kept it from progressing, but the side effects weren't good.
Oh boy.
Now listen to this story. Some criminals, they never learn. Over in Levy County, 14-time convicted felon breaks into a
Jesus
trailer,
Christ.
takes
Whoa,
valuables,
stop, Mitchell.
and falls asleep on their porch.
Wait,
And falls asleep on
hang
the
on,
porch?
Mitchell. Hang on, Mitchell. I've got to go back. 14 times.
14 times.
Can I ask y'all something? What in the hell is this guy doing back in society? 14 times?
I don't know if he'd done
That's-
that in my house. You that wouldn't have had to worry about.
You wouldn't. He wouldn't even been convicted the first time because there wouldn't have been a conviction. Well, yes, there would have been a conviction. Yeah, a conviction as the ambulance is coming to get him, and I'd be convicted because I shot him.
Now you would.
Yeah, that's true.
By
Yeah.
12s and
Yeah.
carried by. Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, 14 times this guy has been a convicted felon.
Good,
And,
man.
I tell you what, he's probably never going to get his right to vote. He's probably not going to get those, get that back to be able to vote in an election. But anyway, this
Good.
happened over in Levy County on Tuesday.
I don't want a person like
Stephen-
that voting.
Stephen Rouse, 39, was found asleep on a porch of a man's home. The homeowner did not know the gentleman. So he called the cops, the homeowner did, and the investigators came on out, and they probably hooked him up with some of those nice bracelets with the chain in between.
Oh, he got some
And,
jewelry.
Yeah, he got him some real jewelry
Yes, he
that
did.
he got to wear all the way to the sheriff's office.
There you go.
But man, this is just a crazy story. And right now he's being held on a $101,000 bond. So I don't think he's going to get out this time. So
No,
hopefully,
probably
hopefully this will actually make his next day even longer, so he can't take advantage of people like that.
Yeah.
Just
It's sad,
crazy.
isn't it?
It is crazy.
All right.
And now you want to try to get on in
Yeah.
for the Relay for
Let's
Life
get
car
on for the
show?
Relay for Life. Byron wasn't there. He'd like to hear about this.
Yes,
So
I would, because
he was supposed to be there as a judge.
I was relaying for life right on down to Green Cove Springs and then right on to St. Augustine.
Yep, Byron Bagwell was on call this morning for Haven Hospice. He had 2 orders he had to get done, and you got them done, made them here to the show, but you didn't make it to the Relay for Life.
No.
But we were thinking about you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we were thinking about you.
Did you buy me that 64 and a half?
Just about. I was $4 short.
Man, if I'd
And you know
known
what
that, I'd have
happened?
given you the extra $4.
Well, I was
it was
hoping.
candy apple red too. I saw a picture
Yeah,
of that.
I know
thing.
it. Well, I asked Mitchell Gunner if he had it. He said, David, I've got $2.95. You're still going to be short $1 and a nickel. And not a soul would give it to me. And the guy wasn't taking a penny less.
You could have taken the IOU from me. That thing looked like it had a real 289 in it too.
There was some pretty cars out there.
But I tell you, the day was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
The only problem that we had was the wind and the
Yep.
pollen.
Yep.
These guys and ladies, they spent almost all day wiping those cars down constantly with all this pollen.
Pollen's horrible.
It was, and you can tell by David's voice, it was pretty
Pretty
bad.
It was powerful.
But we were able to raise $841 for the American Cancer Society, and that was thank you. And that was between the cars being entered and also our 50-50 drawing, which someone was able to take home $111.
Yep.
That was the split, so that was a nice little payday. Paid $15 to enter a car, buy
Yeah.
a 50-50 ticket, and walk out with $111.
And I want to say that particular person also won an award.
That was the wife that won the money.
Okay, the wife that won the money. Okay,
Right.
but the husband won an award.
Correct. He got a top 20.
20, yeah.
So it
How
was
about that?
it was a really good day for them. But our best of show was actually Pat Farmer with his 1934
Ooh.
3-window coupe with a blown 383.
Mhm.
Beautiful
Oh
car.
my God.
Green flames on black.
For those that don't know, what type of car is that? What make is that?
I want to say that's a Chevy.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, it's a Chevy
It's a
coupe.
Chevy coupe.
Yep.
It's Chevy coupe.
So he was the overall winner. Now our best Ford went to Roy Ackman with his
Oh my
Ford
God.
Pinto,
You know what?
1973.
I needed to see this car because of Pinto getting an award. I
Yep.
needed to see
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
it was nice.
It was nice.
Yes, it
It
was.
was 1973 with a 331 stroke. So beautiful car.
Yeah. You should have heard some of these cars take off out of there.
And this gentleman, he built this car and painted it at his house.
Really?
Mhm.
Cool.
So
That's what he said.
next up is the best Chevy, and that was a 1933, and that was Dauber Milson with his coupe.
Yep. Pretty car as
Yeah,
well.
pretty car.
Yeah. We know this guy right here.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
on the show tonight.
Yeah, he's actually going to hear his name.
Yes, he wants to hear his name. That's why he's on.
For best Mopar went to Brady Rayberg with his 2005
15.
2015
Mhm.
Dodge Hellcat Challenger.
Pretty black metallic. And Brady was out there wiping that car down from the time he got there till the time those to the judging was going on. And we had to make fun of him on the mic a little bit. Vera was laughing at him, but congratulations, Brady.
Well, not only was he having to wipe down the Challenger, but
That
he's also
truck.
having to wipe down his truck.
And that truck is beautiful too.
Isn't that got a 600 horsepower to it?
These Hellcats, they're
Yeah,
like
yes,
a little over
maybe
700 horsepower.
Yeah.
702, I believe
Yeah.
Brady told me is
Yeah.
what it was. Maybe Brady can comment on
Yeah.
that.
Good
But I believe
grief.
it's
Yeah, it's
702.
like 702, and then the red eyes are like 50 or 60 more horsepower than that, the red eye ones. And our best import was Michael Bennett.
Bennett.
He
Yeah.
drove all the way over from the other side of Live Oak, and since he was the only import there, he volunteered also to be one of the judges. So it worked out really great. He said, I put a little twist on this day by throwing him in the mix to be a judge. It turned out really great. We had a total of, I think, 47 cars
47.
entered.
Mhm.
We had a few cars drop in for a little while and then leave. So I think all in all, we probably had about 50, 51 cars there.
Yeah.
Beautiful venue. I want to thank the Florida Cracker Restaurant
Yeah.
for letting us hold that event there. And Murray Auto Group for being our award sponsor. They paid for all the awards for us.
They had 3 beautiful vehicles out there too. That
Four.
That
Yeah.
truck was beautiful, man. I was trying to get the money from you to see if I could get it.
It is a nice looking
Your
truck.
tail was flat broke, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to talk Nikki in one of those Jeeps. And she wasn't going for it.
No, she
She's
wasn't
like,
budging.
I'm not going to get no Jeep. I want a truck.
You said he brought an import. What type of car did you bring?
A Honda, I forget the year, is probably a late 80s model.
Probably. I
Hatchback.
Hatchback. Mhm.
He's got a bunch of these hatchbacks at his house. He actually has his own business. He buys people's cars out of their yard. He goes in, he grabs the parts off of them, he cleans them all up, and he turns around. He's got an eBay store, and he resells them. He also works on customer cars as well at his house. Very mechanically inclined person. He works a lot out of Gainesville Raceway, and he races out of Gainesville Raceway, but he hasn't raced this year because he's actually working on a hatch that he's building that's going to have a turbo. So it's definitely probably going to run, I would say, he says 13s, but I think he'll probably get in the high 12s with it.
Pretty
So I
fast.
can't wait till he gets it running and brings it out. It's going to be
Fast.
quite exciting to see. But yeah, we had a great day.
Yeah, it was a great day out
We
there.
had, like I said, we had you DJing, keeping the music going.
Brady
Well,
says
that
707.
707. So I said 702, so I was
Okay.
close. 707 horsepower there, D. White Allen. That thing, man, will smoke the tires off of it. Yep.
And what we should have done was, ask him, could we take turns driving
Driving
it
it,
around?
yes. I
Maybe
know what
do
his,
a-
I know
maybe do
what
a
Brady's
couple
answer is going to be.
donuts.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
donuts.
yeah, donuts and
Well,
stuff. Yeah. What I
Hey,
want to do.
no, we couldn't do that out there.
Wow.
The sheriff was out there.
Yes, he was late.
The sheriff would do that.
Late,
Stop.
wasn't it? We had to mess with him about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But he came out with his grandson.
What was his
Looks like they
excuse?
had a.
Live PD?
That's what someone asked him.
about
Yeah,
that.
someone
Yeah.
asked him. Yeah.
Live PD. I was like, what the heck?
But yeah, he had one of his grandsons out there
Yeah,
with him
yeah.
today, and looked like they were having
Having fun.
having a good time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we just can't wait to next year. It'll be our 10th annual.
Yep.
Be doing it for a decade.
Wow.
You know, and like I've always tell everybody that comes to the shows and wins awards, you know, the real people that matter is the ones that we're raising the money for
Exactly.
to fight that fight. And I tell you what, fighting cancer has came a very long way.
Yes, it has.
Used to when someone told you that you had cancer, it was a death sentence right
Yes,
off the
right.
bat.
Yeah.
Now we're able to catch people in stage 3 and sometimes in stage 4 and help them out of it. It's really hard when you get to stage 4, but I mean there are a few stories that people have beat it.
Yep.
You know, and mentioning that, if you're a male and you're 50 years of age, please go have yourself checked for colon cancer and prostate cancer.
You know that they have come up with all sort of different ways to test that now.
Right.
Not everybody that turns 50 has to go get the dreaded exam
They
that
can
all
do it from
men-
a stool sample.
They
Right.
can do it from a stool sample now.
Yeah.
Well,
Horoscope.
now they actually they
but you give us
came
those.
out with a pill that has a camera in it,
Yep.
and you just take and swallow the pill.
Pill.
Yeah,
and it'll
yeah.
take pictures all
Isn't
the
that
way
crazy?
through, and it relay it back to their computer.
Isn't that crazy?
Technology is great, and that's what all that money's for. That is raised. You know, there's a breakdown, and maybe at our next time that we're on the spot,
Yep.
I can bring in the diagram that shows the breakdown and show you how much money goes to development cures and how much administration costs, so everybody can see where all that money goes. But yeah, everything there that was raised went totally 100% to the American Cancer Society.
Yes, you sure did.
Yeah.
So
You do a great job.
So
Yeah,
what
that's
was
a great
your
job.
what was your favorite car in there?
you know, I was telling Bart.
All of them?
By the way, yes. Remember what I kept saying? Thank God you didn't appoint me judge, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I knew a lot of people that were out there, and that would have been hard to judge. Everybody would have said, "Yep, there's a little favoritism going on." But Bart Norton actually helped judge.
Yeah.
My car actually, my actual favorite car was the Best of Show. I like that. I like that car. The Best of Show car. The Mopar, was it the Mopar, right? Or no, was it the Chevy? The green one.
No, the Chevy.
Yeah.
The black and
there was
black and
there
green.
was a Camaro out there that I really liked as well. I thought those two cars were two of the prettier cars out there.
Was that Mr. Evans?
Evans, yeah,
Okay.
Evans. Mhm.
And he actually got a top 20 today. And what was so neat about today's show, we had several people that have got awards, and that was their first time they have
I heard
gotten
people
an
say
award.
that. Yeah.
You know the Mustang that had the like
Right,
scalloped
stuff,
flames
right,
and stuff
yeah.
on it.
First time we ever win.
First time he's been to a bunch of shows, and I talked to one of the guys in their car club, and he was kind of getting disgusted about it because he's been going to a lot of shows and he
Right.
spent a lot of money in the paint and stuff. And he didn't pop the hood on his car,
No, he didn't.
but what's up underneath there is a supercharger,
I figured.
and I wish he popped it.
Yeah.
What,
It would have been
what
nice.
year was it?
That was probably a 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 18, 17, that body style.
So we got him a trophy on that. Was all
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He was
Oh,
thrilled.
ecstatic.
He was
Good,
thrilled.
yeah.
So they said, "Man, you made his
He
day."
made his day.
When he won one, we had that one Ranchero.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing was beautiful.
Wasn't
too.
it?
And
Yeah.
that was actually her first award
War
win.
two? Yeah.
Wow.
She come, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that thing was beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful paint job, everything. I mean, it was.
That could
it
have been
was
another.
chromed out, nice, everything.
That could have been another
Yeah.
car competing for the best of show,
Yes, it could
or
have been.
for
Yeah.
the Chevrolet. So yeah, it was a great event, and I'm looking forward. I want to thank Ashley Eberhardt for everything that she's
Yep.
done. She was running around selling those 50-50 tickets
Yeah, she
all
was.
over the place, and we almost totally sold out of tickets. I think we only ended up with 46 left.
46 left. Wow.
And it was so funny because we had one of the gentlemen there with his Oldsmobile,
Right.
and he actually that's the one who won the top 20,
Right.
and his wife won the 50-50.
50-50.
But they were taking that old convertible Oldsmobile, and they were using it for the longest vehicle to buy those tickets.
Well,
So-
you told me to tell them to.
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
that thing's
yeah.
as long as 4 of these tables. My gosh, no wonder they got a mess load of tickets.
Yeah, and I tell
A
you what,
string of them.
that's a very unique car.
It is.
You look at it, it looks like it's all rusted,
Yeah.
but all of that is actually painted.
Yes, it is.
He went out and had that painted, and all the
Yeah.
rims match it. I mean, just beautiful interior in the car.
I seen him wiping it down, and I was thinking, man, what are you doing? Wiping down rust? It looked like it, didn't it?
It
It
looks
does,
but very, very real.
But it's got a soft and a
Right.
smooth
Yes.
surface, but it looks like rust. I'm looking out there, and I'm like, man, he's wiping a rust bucket down.
Yeah, he told me that he went to one show down there in Orlando, and they didn't want to let him in because they thought it was rust all over the
Yeah.
car, and that it wasn't painted that way. So he had
It's a unique paint
he had to
job.
take them out there and let them see the car for themselves
Yeah.
to show them that it wasn't rusted. It was actually painted that way. And I tell you that those paint jobs like that are not very cheap at
No.
all to try to make that
No.
look so realistic.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's
I know a lot of
these days too.
right. Well, and a lot of people they will take and wrap their cars
Yep.
and make it look bad
Yep.
like that. And this is actually paint. So
Yes, it is. And like I said, it looked really good. By the way, Brady won 2 awards.
That's
His truck, man, that's a beautiful truck, wasn't it?
it is.
Golly, he just let me drive that one day. I was trying to get him to let him drive it today, man. He
What
took
is
off
it?
way too. Man, he's got a nice 1978 Chevy
Yep, it's a Chevy.
long wheel, long bed. Yeah,
If
long
he's
wheelbase.
on, he
Yeah, if
can
he's on,
actually-
he can tell us,
he can
and he can
give us
tell us
some
what's under
details
the
on
hood as well if Brady's watching there. But wanted to get in here and chime in. Kevin, thank you for joining us. Brady just gave us that update. Sean is on, David Kilgore and Janet Pollard Reese, Jeremiah Vaughn, one of our little running backs a couple of years ago, a little scat back. He's playing baseball and football up in Chicago. Good grief,
good.
bundle up, brother, up there. Man, that's some cold stuff.
I just want to mention one thing again.
Good one.
Bart Norton, Emmett Craig Jr.,
Yep.
and Michael Bennett. I want to thank y'all for going around and do the judging for the show. That's one thing I cannot do because I know almost everybody
Mhm.
there from
That's-
going to car shows all over the place, and I try to make it as fair as possible.
So, yeah, and I'm glad you didn't pick me because I knew most of them too. That was a tough job right there. So, want to thank you for your report, Mitchell. Now we're going to get in to Mr. Byron's segment, Byron Bagwell, and it's sponsored tonight by Williams Jewelry of Stark. Visit us at our convenient downtown location for all of your jewelry needs.
Yeah.
I seen Nicole Gunner down there, and she was spending the heck out of Mitchell's money.
Well, he bought it. No, he didn't. I'm better be quiet about what he bought. for
Oh,
the
I
car.
know it. I
Now
know.
gotta
Yeah,
stop.
you
I gotta
better stop about that charger. That turn.
I will be spending some
Oh,
money
what-
on
what
that
else?
car.
I gotta stop that.
You
Yeah.
wanna say it? Okay.
I will be spending some money on that car real soon, and hopefully before the show that comes up over at Gainesville at Santa Fe College. It's their 39th annual car show. It's $25 to enter, and man, they take everything, all cars, trucks, rat rods, and all. So there's a few things that I need to get fixed before I go over there. And I wanted to mention that because we actually had some of the Gainesville street rodders bring some of their vehicles.
Brady was saying right there that it was a 1986
GMC.
GMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long wheelbase.
Long wheelbase.
Long wheelbase.
350 is in it. There's a 350 in it.
In the Chevy family.
Yeah.
Government Motors.
All right. Mr. Byron Bagwell, what you got for us tonight, brother?
You said did he have a Ford motor in there?
I said Government Motors.
Government Motors. All right,
All right.
you behave.
No, I'm not. You know, I'm not. I never behave
I
myself.
know it,
man.
brother. What you got for us tonight?
Well, I wanted to mention a little bit about something that's going on right now at an event called CPAC. And I don't know how many people here know what that is, but what happens is a bunch of people come and speak, and they're all conservative speakers. And it's basically for conservative groups. And the president was there today, made a speech. a guy by the name of Mark Levin was
Mark
there.
Levin,
Made a
radio
speech.
host.
And it's been going on for 3 days,
Mhm.
and a lot of Republicans and people from the actual Republican Party inner workings goes to these CPACs because there's people like Ted Cruz speaking, which he's part of that this year too. There was a list of I think there was a list of like 25 or 30 people that were speaking, and they were all there today, and it went really well from the pictures that I've seen from some of the people that are part of the Clay County Republican Party. Looks like they had a good time. And if you're interested in seeing any of these people, going to CPAC is a good thing to do, because a lot of times what happens is these people, after they get finished speaking, will come out into the audience and talk to you.
Right.
I would. Mark Levin would probably have to get away from me because I'd corner him up and I would start talking like I do on this show and probably keep him far too long. But
No, you wouldn't do that.
I would never start talking about the Constitution and our rights and
Never have on this show.
especially with somebody that's got more knowledge than I do, that I know that has more knowledge than I do about this subject. I'd just love to sit there and ask him questions.
Right.
There are other people that have been on this. Walter Williams has been on it. I'm trying to remember the other guy's name, and I can't. For some reason, I cannot remember his name right now.
Neil Bortz has been on there before.
Neil Bortz has been on there.
Mhm.
Rush Limbaugh spoke at it. It's just a big event for conservatives. It's a great thing. Get your tickets, go next year, because there always is great speakers from it. We still have the primaries going on.
Yep.
From what I understood, young doesn't certify Bernie Sanders, but he won the last primary. We're now in South Carolina,
Right.
and they're projecting that it's very possible that Joe Biden gets back into the race because he's putting a lot of money into South Carolina. So we'll see what happens with South Carolina. Always make sure you go vote for whoever your party affiliation is. It's your right as a citizen. Go do it. Really, I didn't have that much tonight to talk about because there's really not a whole lot going on besides coronavirus. I did want to mention a couple of things about the politicization of the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this thing is killing people.
Yes.
Okay. And it's here. It's killed a person already in the United States, just now apparently in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is our government is taking money from where they can to fix the problem. There was an appropriation bill apparently going through for a little over $5 billion to fight the coronavirus. There was also some money taken out of the funds to fight Ebola.
Right.
For the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of our politicians threw a fit about this. And anybody here can answer this question too, just like you gentlemen can.
Right.
When is the last time you heard anything about Ebola?
Ooh. Been
Yeah,
a while
long
back.
time ago.
The last election cycle.
But yeah.
How many confirmed cases of
4 years ago.
Ebola have you ever heard of in the United States?
I haven't heard of any.
Zero.
Too sick.
The answer is zero. So the Trump administration took $2 billion from that fund and are using that to help get this under control, get a vaccine made up. And we started politicizing that. The person that did that was the Speaker of the House. And I'm sitting here going, lady, with all due respect, you need to go back into the House and be quiet. Because guess what? This is affecting American citizens. Ebola's not.
Right.
Take the money that you need from wherever you need to take it from, if it's not being spent for what it's earmarked for, and fix this problem. And that's what they're doing. I heard some criticism of them appointing Mike Pence as the head of this too. By the way, our vice president is now the czar, which is not the term they were using, but
Right.
the czar of what's going on with the coronavirus. Well, there's been some things said about that too. Well, he's not actually doing the research himself. He's putting a team together to fight this, and he's putting a very good team together to fight this. Do your research. Don't listen to these people on TV that are politicians, because this should never be politicized at all.
Right.
At all. Just just fix the problem. I mean,
One of the things I was wondering, Byron, not to mean to interrupt you,
you're fine.
but I don't know why our federal government don't say, hey, we're going to have 3 days that no one's going to go to work. You stay home. Don't drive. The only people allowed on the road
Or just
is emergency vehicles and or police officers, you know, essential staff like that. Everybody else stays home for 3 days and see if that can help control the coronavirus from spreading.
Problem is you'll part ways crash the economy when you do
Right,
that because
right.
because of the commerce that goes on our roads. That's the only
trucking,
that's
yeah,
the only
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only problem with doing that. But
I agree
Here-
with the theory, though. I do.
here's my theory. Are you ready for this? We shut off everybody from this country until this is over. All you have to do to keep the coronavirus from coming into this country, there's one confirmed case that's been spread, supposed confirmed case that's been spread from someone in the United States to somewhere else. And I'm not 100% certain that that story is true, so I'm not going to confirm that. There's a case being said that it was spread from one person to the other. Everything else that is coming to this country has come in from people that are citizens that were other places and come back here.
Right.
So, you know what that tells me? You close our borders and you don't let people in until this is under control and we figure out a vaccine for it. Once you figure out a vaccine for it, you'll have the disease under control.
Right.
It's like polio or anything else they've come up with vaccines for.
Right.
Once that's done, it's fixed, and you don't really have that problem anymore. But there are other ways to go about doing this too.
Right.
And this is going to sound callous, but I wouldn't let a United States citizen with corona back into this country. There are plenty of military bases in other countries
Where you can quarantine yourself.
where you can quarantine your citizens. You still have the same healthcare system that we use, and
Right.
the same doctors we use that are just as good.
Right.
And they will send doctors there, and the doctors will go. So you don't have to bring anybody into this country. You can, I mean, yeah, take your choice of some of the best facilities anywhere in the world that we have military bases.
Well, I tell you what, speaking today with a lady that was attending the car show, and I know her son is in the military, and I said, hey, how's your son doing? Said, well, he's in Korea. I says, how's he doing? He says, doing great, but they're all about to go crazy because they cannot leave the base.
Nope.
They can't
Their
leave the
base
base.
is all
No.
locked
They
down.
can't leave the base.
So,
It's all
Now,
locked down.
and here's another thing. I'm not saying nobody can come back into this country that are citizens.
right.
I'm saying citizens with the coronavirus can't come
Correct.
back in.
Correct.
That would to me would be the easiest way to keep that out of this country. Now you're going to have people sneak into this country. Walls, no walls. People are going to
Yeah.
figure out how
They'll
to do
figure
that.
out a way.
Stowaways.
But you're going to minimize the effects of the disease by basically limiting it coming to this country is what you're going to end up doing if you do that. And I'm not trying to be
No.
harsh to anybody, but I can tell you this: if you think about it like this, we continue to allow people to come into this country, and let's say you have an aunt that is older and she is not in the best health. And one of these people that have been allowed to come into this country that have the coronavirus came in contact with her before they figured out this person had the coronavirus.
Right.
She gets it, she passes away. You'll feel different about it at that point. My thing is take care of our people, but don't let people in this country with the coronavirus. They should not be here, period.
And the incubation period is 14 days, correct?
Yes, it is.
As far as I know, the
And that's-
incubation period's 14 days,
Yep.
and I've heard crazy things like it's now spreading to animals.
Right. That's what I've heard as well.
Whether that's
Yeah.
I have to see certain websites or certain
Yeah.
news sources before I buy anything that I try to do, because I've been burnt by other stuff.
Yeah, because
before.
usually different types of flus and bacteria that we come in contact affects us totally different than what it does animals.
Sure it does.
And so if something like that is happening,
There's only
that
one.
is not really good at all.
The only one that I know of that affects us that way is anthrax,
Right.
and there's vaccines for
Right.
anthrax. So I mean, that's the only thing that I know of that spreads between. There could be other things that'll do that too. Swine flu, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
But there's not many. I get sick of the politicization of things like this. We're
Right.
all Americans, and it doesn't matter what party affiliation we have by our names. Just stop and get this thing taken care of, and quit criticizing each other up in the government while we're doing this, and let's just take care of
Take
this.
care of home.
Now,
Take care of home, yeah.
Byron, I've talked to you about this, and let me get on my soapbox a little bit. You know what I'm getting ready
I
to
know
talk
what
about.
you're- Go ahead, sir. I'm ready to hear this. I'm ready to hear this.
Mitchell is going to get it. I should have told Mitchell earlier today. I want to talk about two things. First of all, I want to talk about the global economic impact that the coronavirus is having, not just for the United States, but all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. We're a major player in the stock market. We've got the NASDAQ. We've got the Dow.
Right.
We've got some big time players. We got the Asian market. China is the big player over there. We've also got the European market, which is a major player. And then there's the four dragons, or the four Asian tigers is
Right.
what they call
Right.
it now. Singapore,
Yeah, the Asian market.
Taiwan, Korea.
Korea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all those players are in what we call the global marketing.
Right.
This is where our trades come from. That's the four major players as far as trade goes.
Trade goes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Import and export. So what's happened is, as Mitchell and Byron just said, now you've got cases of this all over the world now, in all of these countries. So what's happened is now we are forced, or they're going to force, if they haven't already in most countries, they're going to force all people's borders to shut down. So what happens there?
It affects trade.
It affects trade,
And the
import
market
and
goes
export. Guess what has to happen for a stock market to work? You
Trade.
have to have trade. There's got to be supply and demand. Supply and demand's easy to figure out. You got to have trade. My stock was at $35 3 weeks ago. Coronavirus now, my stock now is at $28 and
David,
dropping. The arrow's not going up. It's not green. It's in red and heading straight down. So what Byron said, if they don't figure out a way to get a vaccine or some kind of fix, I'm telling you, it's going to keep going until what?
It crashes.
It crashes. What happens when we crash? We go into a depression.
Yep.
Well,
Housing market goes crazy,
Crazy
down.
down.
There are ways to get around that too.
There is.
There
There
are
is.
ways to get around that, because you're not talking about basically keeping trade closed.
Right.
You're keeping people from entering this country, and there are ways to stop that.
Right.
So you can continue to do that. There's other ways you can keep the stock market from
Mhm.
crashing. One of them we should have done a long time ago and should have actually kept, which is the gold standard.
Standard. Yeah. I don't,
Which
yeah, where it
means
happened,
that
yeah.
that means our monetary system is backed by
Not
gold.
gold. Right.
See, I would love to know what's in Fort Knox.
Yeah, me too.
A
Yeah.
lot.
So,
Or-
and any of the other
or-
mints, or any of the other mints around this wonderful country that we have.
Or from what I've heard, and it's probably a load of nonsense, nothing.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
No,
either-
that's
there is-
the
there-
true statement.
I,
A rope dope.
I either really believe it's a rope. I believe there at one time
Yeah.
there was a ton of gold in Fort
I
Knox.
believe so.
But you think about how much money our government has spent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that gold from in Fort Knox actually come from when they took us off the gold standard and basically made it illegal for people to have gold coins and use
Right.
it as currency. So where did it go? When they took it, where did it go? They melted it down into bars and they put a lot of it in the different Fort Knox places.
Yeah, well,
Is what they did. I would
and-
really,
and
I
what-
really would like to. You know, that's one of the things. If I ever did become president, that's one of the things I would do.
right.
I would say I want an audit of our mints. I want to know what we have,
I'm
and
sure.
I want it on my desk in a month.
See, we free willingly print paper money,
called-
as we call, just like we call it paper money.
It's
It's easy to print. Hey, let's just print $150 million.
and then the commodity traders get a hold of it.
Correct.
And what happens is money is a commodity.
Commodity.
Paper money
Yes.
is a commodity. There are ways that they value
It's
this one
what
and that
they-
one
correct,
by the markets that go on in different countries. So what
which
happens?
is the markets and us.
So what happens is one day the dollar is worth more than the yen, and then the next day the yen's worth more than the dollar, and
Or the lira is
peso-
worth more than
The
this,
peso's
and
never worth anything.
the
at all,
euro
you
is
know?
worth this and that. Yeah,
The euro's
so
worth more than both
both
of them.
of them.
You know,
Yeah,
is what they do. They play games with it.
of course they do.
And to make people money, which
That's
it-
what
it-
it's about.
That's what it's about.
It's about.
Money is about making money.
And that's why you got people that are into buying foreign money. They'll buy it at a low cost, and when
and
it goes up, they
they
turn around and trade it back in for
Commodity
US
trading.
Yep,
It's
exactly.
called commodity
Commodity
trading.
traders.
Commodity trading. It's called commodity trading.
So, yeah, well, you know, China. Well, let me go back to this, and I know where you're going with this.
Well,
China is one of the big players in this whole thing. There's really four major players: China, us. Who do you think it is in Europe? Great Britain
in Germany
and Germany.
and
Right.
France,
Yep, probably
point.
to a point.
to
Yep.
a point,
And then
Czech,
right here,
Czech Republic is probably knee deep in that too.
Too,
because,
of course.
because
Yeah.
they manage their government really well.
Yep.
You end up what you end up with is you end up with a storm of nonsense with
Yeah.
this stuff.
right,
You devalue the dollar when you take it. You're basically devaluing a dollar
hmm
when you take us off the gold standard
right.
because you're basing it on what?
Well-
Seriously, this is something that people don't talk about. What is our dollar based off of?
Trust.
Oh, well, no. You mean now or what it should be?
No. What is it based off of now?
Based off of now? Oh, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I know it used to be based off the gold reserves that we used to have in Fort Knox and other
That's
places.
exactly right. It was
So,
it was,
but,
and gold and silver. It
So
was-
and silver, yeah.
because you had silver
Right.
certificates at that point too.
Right.
It's based on the value of partly off the value of the stock market
Okay, I was going to say, I was said something.
and the worth in our basically in our country is what it's based off of. The other thing that happens with it is when you have paper money like this that's not really based off anything physical,
Right.
is something called inflation happens.
Yep. I was going to use that word.
Inflation basically is going to happen is basically when the dollar is worth less than what it should have.
Right.
And if you look at things the way they were 60 years ago, 50, 60 years ago, when you could go out and buy a brand new car for 4, 5,
6,000.
keep on going down,
Mm-hmm.
100,
Yeah.
and you were buying new homes, nice new homes for $8,000, $9,000, $10,000.
Yeah, you're talking about
$11,000.
40s and the 50s, and even into
60s,
the early
into
60s,
the
yeah,
early
60s. Yeah.
But now what you're seeing is you're seeing everything's value go up but the dollar's value is going down. So what happens is you end up paying a lot more with your dollars.
Right.
The value of it's inflated or deflated, depending on what the markets are doing. And it's a kind of
Catch 22
well,
is
no, it's not a catch-22 to me because I don't believe we should be doing this. I believe it
Well,
should be
yeah.
backed on physical currency
right.
because you can't devalue gold. The cost of gold goes up and down,
Now, yes.
but you're not ever going, and silver too, by the
Yeah.
way. Silver is doing incredibly well right now.
Yep.
What happens is if you back that dollar with gold, physically backed with gold or silver, what happens is that dollar is
Worth more. Yep.
All of a sudden, the $2.80 gallon of milk that you pay for it, right? That $2.80 gallon of milk is now 50 cents.
Correct.
Because $2.80 is worth more now.
Well,
than
in
it
that
was.
case, it would be worth $2.30 more. In the case you just give it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
and that's what I'm saying when you start. And I'm not an economist.
No.
I can't break this stuff down.
I like it
the
though,
way
man.
I should.
Yeah.
But you look at this, and we had a system that worked,
Right.
but people got greedy and changed that system because they knew they could make more
Right.
money off of it in a way that they could enrich themselves and not the American
People
public.
like
The public is what ended up happening.
You're right.
So, yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to hit on real quick, and that got into that one because I wanted to let everybody know which markets and who's in play in the world today
Sure.
and how the coronavirus affected. The second thing is Dave,
Yes.
how many world nations hate the United States? Just go ahead and say all of them. Almost all of them.
Took the words right out of my
All
mouth.
right, there you go. How about
I
that?
can think of two that don't hate us,
Yeah, I can think of two, but almost the rest of them hate us, right?
including the
So-
one that we keep on bailing out in more wars.
Yes, sir. I agree. Now, so this deal happened in Wuhan, China. Right?
Yep.
Started there. Wuhan. Spread all across these countries. Now it's eventually at the United States. But you know what's funny? These nations hates our guts, right?
Why are
But
we
they're
over-
looking to us for a cure and help. Isn't that crazy? They love us right now. Oh, the United States is going to help us out. Brian brings up a good point about this. Oh, they're going to help us out. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, I brought up a really good point about this the other night
Yeah.
on the phone with you.
Yes, you did. So what happens? Let's just say the Atlanta CDC comes up with a cure or the vaccination, as Byron and him said. We give it. Well, guess what? After we give it, we're back on the hated list again.
Yeah.
We're back on the hit list again. We're back on the terrorist list again. Because why? People, when they need us,
Love us.
But when everything is cool in the motor pool,
It goes back to hate.
it goes back to hate. Isn't that crazy?
Amen.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Byron brought up a good point the other night. Byron, I'll let you say this about
You
this.
just about made me say something
I
really
wanted-
bad on
yeah.
the air just then.
But I want you to know that, like Byron said, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican, a Democrat, left, I don't care. This is a people issue.
Yeah.
This is a people issue. And as Byron and Mitchell said, that is killing people. This virus is killing people.
Quit playing
And
political
many-
games with it. Fix
Right.
it.
Whatever it is that we need for Atlanta CDC, much as I hate to say this, the World Health Organization, give them the monies and the resources to get this thing fixed. Get us a vaccine. Let's get it marketed. Let's get it to people. Let's get this cured. And let's get everybody back on even keel. Because right now, Byron had said it, maybe not so much United States, but other countries, world countries, this is a panic mode. panic mode for a lot
of course it is, because they
specifically
don't have the health system and the scientific
Big
knowledge that we do.
right, and that's what you
And
said the other
being
day.
able to fix it. There's only one other country in this world
Yep.
where I would feel safe with this outbreak,
Mm-hmm.
and that one is actually in the Middle East,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that would be Israel.
Real. Yep, Israel.
That'd be the
China-
only other place.
China got
Which is
their,
our ally, by the way.
got their
That's the only
CDC
other one of the only-
program from America.
Of course it did.
Of course.
They refuse to give America the virus so that we can study it.
Of course they do, because they weaponized it.
They
Right.
weaponized it.
Yeah.
Well, we say that. We don't actually have the proof of that.
No, but
it's
with
really-
this free
it's
country, I
really-
can't say
It's
that.
really kind of funny how, it just got out. They had it. One
Yeah.
of the doctors had it, and it just mysteriously got out. My foot, it got out.
Yeah, no.
Maybe they were
you're-
trying to do some population control in China.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was.
And then
That's
they got
ex-
away
That
from
came-
them.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what. In Mitchell, that sounds crazy to say
No,
coming from
I'm-
somebody like us, but China has population control already.
Yes, they do.
They
They're only allowed one child.
one child. And if you have more than one child, guess what they do to that child?
Death.
They kill that child.
No,
You didn't know that?
no, I did not.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Or they force they force the mother to have an abortion, one of the two, if they don't find out about it before the child's born. Yes, China has population control like that. People think that China's this goody
There
goody
are
place.
over 1 billion people. 1 billion.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is they're a communist nation
Well,
that
yeah.
has to have tight control of their people,
People. Mhm.
or their people will start figuring out, hey, we're not. Guess what? Free.
Free.
And then they're going to have a problem.
Problem.
They have a
Right.
problem anyway because they can't feed everybody. that
That's
they
correct.
have. That's the reason that they said they started that, but that's only part of the reason why they
Right.
started that.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of strange to me that all of a sudden this virus that this
Coronavirus.
scientist had, and it actually got outside of his laboratory. Then once it started spreading, China had a problem because China can't keep that stuff in China because of the way China is.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this disease, this virus that's spread
Right.
from here to here to here. And there are ways to stop that. We just need to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how to stop it in one way because I've already told everybody tonight. All we can do is close the borders.
Borders. Right.
I mean, that's all all we can do, and then we get to hear how racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic, and everything else from one side of the aisle we are, because we just try to save every American's lives, including those people that are saying that,
Right. Right.
because it's politically expedient.
I want to read Brady, and Mitchell got into that. We talked about that cruise ship that is off from Jacksonville, and that's exactly right, Brady. It's actually 14 days. They can get off on the 15th day. So it's 14-day incubation period or holding period, and you can get off on the 15th day if you don't have the virus.
There is a very nice military base about a
Yes,
day's
there is.
sail south that's on American soil that they can go.
Get Mobay.
Right.
Is that what you-
No, I was not saying take them. Well, you can take them to Cuba.
Yes,
That
you
wouldn't-
could.
That wouldn't hurt my
Now,
feelings
it
at
was
all.
there, yeah.
But I was actually referring to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
The
yeah.
base.
Roosevelt Roads?
Yeah, I was referring to Puerto Rico.
And the
Roosevelt
thing is,
Roosevelt.
hopefully within the next day, we'll find out if this crew member actually just has
Right.
flu A or flu
Yeah.
B, or if it's just
Corona.
a cold or the coronavirus. And I'm hoping that he does not.
English itis.
So I hope he's just sick with a
I know
regular cold.
I know somebody in here who's got English itis.
Yes, I do too. So let's get on. Dwight Allen says he lost $10 a share this week. That's about right. And he said China's doing this. Of course they are. Now I don't know the other comments right there.
Give me just one
But,
second. I'll get the other.
And we'll go ahead and we'll get to that. But I'm gonna get into the sports report brought to you by Mr. Probst tonight. Right, John? You're doing the sports report. You're not marketing the sports report tonight?
I do.
Yeah, no, you know.
Oh no.
I'll be back in a second, John.
All right, no problem. But anyway, I wanted to get into a couple of things here. First of all, March Madness is coming up within our sports. we have a bracket madness going on. We want you to get in at $10 a bracket. We're going to do the men and the women's bracket. It's a great time to get in. The cause for this, or where we're going to put the funds at, is we're going to put it to our local food pantry. So please make sure that you buy a bracket from us. $10 a piece. I'd like to see 2,000 brackets, Mitchell. Are we going to get it? I don't know.
Right.
But I'd like to see 2,000 brackets. The winner will get half that bracket, so that'll be $1,000. $1,000 for the winner, $1,000 going to the food pantry. That's going to be the March Madness bracket for the men and the women. You'll be able to watch some great basketball, keep up with your bracket, get you interested in the tournament because you want to see what your team does. Hey, did Louisville beat Oregon? You know what I mean?
Right.
And you want to scratch off and see. And the way that it's determined is if your team makes it all the way to the championship game, well, guess what? You're probably going to be in for the dough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So please hit up John Probst. You can catch us on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. If you want a bracket. Also, you can, if you see any of us, you can give us your money. We won't be able to print the brackets until they pick the field of 64 for both sides. So I think that would be great if all of y'all would get in on this. This is our first fundraiser, and we want to try to get as many brackets sold as we can. So you can catch them at Dave's shop. You can catch it, John. You can catch it here. You can catch it with Mitchell Gunner, myself. You can email us, and we'll make sure that you get your brackets back.
I tell you what, this is who I think is going to be in the Final Four. I think you're going to have Baylor, Gonzaga,
right?
possibly Florida State.
Yeah, possibly. They did lose today, though, by 1 to Clemson on the road. But
that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No.
And I'm kind of up in the toss when we.
Baylor or Kansas?
Well, actually, I think Cincy actually has a really good chance.
Yeah, they're not bad.
So they're playing real good basketball. I know Dave Holland would be really happy.
No, he likes Dayton. Dayton, Dayton's around.
That is Dayton.
Yeah, Dayton, the Flyers, the number 4 ranked team in the country,
that's who I'm
and they
about.
won again today.
That's
Florida
who I'm
State lost by
Dayton.
1, 70-69 to Clemson on the road.
I just don't understand.
I don't know why I was
It's
thinking
just-
Cincy, but it's actually
They pull
Dayton.
some upsets, so I can get that a little
Yes.
bit. That's
But
the main thing I wanted to talk on the sports about. I'm going to get into some other sports on Tuesday. I know we took up a lot of time discussing other things, but these things that we discussed were very important, not only for our community and the things we got going on nationally with this coronavirus thing. I know that's the number one topic in the country and in the world today.
What's wrong? What, Roger?
I did want to go over the top 10 free agents. I can't even get that phone open there. Dak Prescott supposedly is the number 1 free agent out there. Did you know that?
I think they're going to close the deal really here in the next couple of days.
Chris Jones, the defensive tackle, is 2. Amari Cooper, wide receivers, 3.
They'll
Drew
sign him.
Brees, they'll re-sign him.
I didn't know Drew
4.
Brees
Brees was a wide receiver. Tom Brady, 5th, a quarterback. When did Brees become a wide receiver?
Not too big.
Yeah, no, that's what I see wide receiver right here.
It says wide receiver.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Jadeveon Clowney, edge rusher, Byron Jones. Is that you?
No.
Cornerback, Justin Simmons, a safety, Hunter Henry, the tight end, and Derrick Henry, the running back. That's your top 10 free agents. We'll see. I think all of them will re-sign probably with their teams. Most of them will.
Cooper and Dak
Drew
Prescott are
Brees-
not going nowhere.
I was going to say Cooper and Dak
Dak's
probably not
not-
going anywhere,
no.
and I can promise you Drew Brees is not.
No, and I can tell you probably, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what y'all think. I think the Patriots are going to re-sign Tom
Hey,
Brady.
He told to
Hang on a minute. I don't think that he's going to go anywhere. Inside sources tell me that he's probably going to stay a New England Patriot.
I think he will too. I mean, I think it's kind of
He's
ridiculous.
going to
to,
retire. He's going to. Why
let
would you
him
go to
go.
a team, play for a year,
Yeah.
and then come back and
And-
sign for $10 to retire for your with your
Yeah.
team?
Well, to me,
Stupid.
that top 10 list that we just saw is missing a player.
Yes, it is.
Because if you want to talk about top 10 players in the league, how can you leave a certain quarterback from the Chargers out of it?
Yeah, Philip Rivers. Yeah,
How
where's
do
he
you,
at
how do
on?
you,
Yeah, I
leave,
don't.
you can't leave Philip Rivers out
No,
of
you
that.
can't.
And Philip Rivers is supposedly signing with the Colts, by the way.
Yes,
which
that's
is
the
what
yeah.
which is what I've heard about that.
Right.
So, it's
Right.
yeah. I mean,
Right.
you want to talk about
Yeah, there's going to be a mess.
you want to talk about being a deadly addition to a team.
Yeah.
You put that man behind a line that can block for you
Right.
and give him two good wide receivers.
Oh yeah,
He
he'll
is
pick
going
you apart.
to pick people
apart.
apart.
Roethlisberger's the same way.
Roethlisberger,
You
yeah.
You gave him a
Even his
good
big-
offensive line,
Oh yeah.
he'll pick you apart.
You know,
Yes, he will.
you know what? March the 18th, free exercise. Next month to March the 18th. Free
March the
exercise.
18th. We'll get into that in our
Okay.
next sports. We'll get into that in our next sports. So,
Okay.
by the way, I think that was a great show, gentlemen. That's all I want to get in on the sports. I want to start wrapping the show up. I know people's got some other things to do. Final thoughts, real quick, Mr. Bagwell, since you're to my left. I'll read the comments.
Pay attention to what's going on with politics, as always.
Yep.
Dig below what the appearances of things.
Right.
Because what you'll find is a lot of it's just pure political nonsense. And the second part of my last thought is pretty simple. Coronavirus is not a good thing, but it is also not something that we should be scared half to death of right now. We
Right
have
now.
one death in this country, and
Right.
that case came in from another country.
Mhm.
We have one semi-confirmed case where it's been contracted from somebody else.
Right.
And I think it's up to what? 70? No,
70.
60, 68? Something.
Yeah, I don't know the official.
I don't know
number.
the official
So,
The official cases.
in the United
in the United
States.
States.
68.
Okay,
So it was
you read that.
68.
As of like 20 minutes ago, 68.
Good.
So we have literally 68 cases of the coronavirus in a nation of almost 370 million people. So it's not something that is running like wildfire, and we all need to panic and go out and start buying masks and food, water, and everything
Right.
else. Just keep a watch on it. Our government is pretty good at containing this type of thing, and I wouldn't be afraid to go in public
No.
places or do anything like that.
Just keep
So-
doing your everyday lives. I think
It's-
what that's-
It's not the end of the world.
Right.
The sky is not falling.
Right.
So just go about your everyday life and live life.
But still wash your hands regularly.
There you
Well,
go.
you should be doing that anyway
Anyway.
because it's flu season, and flu season has killed more people
Maybe
this
than-
year.
than the coronavirus
than the coronavirus has.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So,
Hand sanitizer works wonders.
yes, it does.
Sure
John?
does.
A couple things. One, I'm super excited for Philip Rivers. I love that man.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a
I
big Philip
just-
Rivers fan.
I've watched him for years, and I'm ready for him to hopefully be behind the line that can do what he needs to do to be able to succeed
just
and
didn't-
show the real Philip Rivers.
Right.
I didn't want him in the AFC South. He could have gone somewhere else. He didn't need
He
to
could
be
go to
in.
Miami as far as you're concerned there.
Oh God! I said behind a good offensive line, not Swiss cheese.
Don't get him killed.
Well, yeah, well. Miami, well, they did beat New England. But anyway, oh, golly, that's terrible. Anyway, and what else?
But yeah, excited for Philip Rivers. Excited for the fair this week. Other than that, just wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Yeah.
Wash your hands.
And don't use
Hand
the
washing.
coronavirus as an excuse to just wash your hands. Just
Right.
wash your hands regularly, anyways.
Just use it as an excuse to get out of work.
There you go.
Sheriff Smith, I've got the call.
Oh,
I might be
That
making,
would-
I don't
I'll be
know
making
that would go
call.
over very well.
well,
In
you
2
know
weeks
what will
on
happen?
Friday.
You know what will happen there? We won't be able to use this building. All right, going to Dave's shop. That's where the next 15 shows are going to be.
I have a feeling all of us would be in quarantine. Is
Yeah,
what I have a
anyway,
feeling.
yeah,
of having. I don't
yeah,
want to
you
sit
got
somewhere
15
for
days
50
before.
quarantine.
Oh,
My shop might be closed.
Yeah, your shop may be closed. I was just going to say. Dave, final thoughts.
I didn't win the lotto, but I live in a great country.
Yes,
The
sir.
greatest country in the world today.
Greatest
Yes,
country.
sir.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Gunner.
I want to touch on sports real quick
Yeah.
before we go. Harrison Burton, you know who that is,
Yeah, I
right?
do.
You know who his dad is?
Yes, I do.
Well, he actually backed his first Xfinity win today.
Did he?
So
Congratulations. Family style on that one,
Yep.
huh?
And then tomorrow, the regular NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. Your winner of the pole is Boyer, who edges out Jimmy Johnson for the pole.
Really?
So showing a little bit of strength there, Boyer team.
You know who my favorite race car driver used to be? Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle. He was a great race car driver.
Yes, he was.
What was wrong with Dick Trickle?
Absolutely nothing.
What was wrong with Dick Trickle?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing was wrong. Y'all, stop it.
You
both
get late.
y'all
You
speak
get
up.
late. I
No,
know it.
stop
I'm doing it.
Stop it.
Mitchell slap.
Stop it.
Oh my God. Shut up, Mitchell.
My
All right. So,
I thought you was talking about Cole Trickle off Race of Thunder.
well, I like
Oh,
Cole Trickle too.
man.
But Dick Trickle was my favorite NASCAR driver.
my,
Yeah. I used to call him something else. Better not say it here though.
Oh,
I'll tell y'all later.
Jesus Christ.
But anyway,
Lord, please forgive all of this shenanigans.
I would my final thoughts is, again, I always say it on the show. We are the American Party. This is where we put America first. That's what we all do here. We try to help. Mitchell tries to help our community. That's what he focuses on. I think you're doing a wonderful job doing that. Mr. Byron Bagwell, bringing you the national, the politics, the world news, making your open your eyes. Myself, bringing you the sports just to lighten up some things. Dave Holland, everybody here that helps produce this show. We're just trying to inform you guys of what's going on.
That's all
We're trying
doing.
to bring you the news first and just inform you guys of everything that we can think of in a couple hour show. And for people that can't get out and get a paper, people maybe that doesn't have whatever, they're handicapped or whatever, they can't get out to, we try to bring it to you. So if you've got a computer, I know everybody's got one of these. You got one of them, you can catch us right here on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Now on YouTube as well. If you can't catch it that same night, you catch it on YouTube. And the shows are already recorded. And the other thing is that I want to say is, if you've got a chance to help somebody, help somebody out. It's about paying it forward, giving back, because we all here are blessed on what we have right now.
God.
Thank God for what we have right now.
Could we do this if we were in China?
No.
No.
Well, actually, we
Underground,
could.
we could.
We
Underground.
could.
But they find us.
Oh, yeah. Not only would they find us, they would shoot me. I can promise you that. They wouldn't even ask questions about that. They would shoot me.
You know what
for
they would
saying some
do?
things I've said.
Slide us on the wall.
No, they would feed us to the alligators. Did you know that? That China has the second largest population of alligators in the world. United States is first, China's second. Yep. That's why they have a delicacy over there, and it's called alligator ankles.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just telling you, fried alligator ankles. You ever had those? Anyway, hey, the show's getting off the rail. Come on back in. Come on back in. Oh boy, I tell you, alligator ankles.
One thing I want to touch on real quick before we close the show, we will talk about the ACA buyout of Shan Stark.
Yes, we will.
On Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that's coming from the fair. That show will be coming from the fair. So, on behalf of Mr. Byron Bagwell, Mr. John Probst, Mr. Roger the Tornado Cruz, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Dave Holland, our visitors, Mr. Dwight Allen and Miss Lucy Davis coming in joining us live. My name is David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you Tuesday. Good night. Oh.
Nope. We are on the spot, and Bernie Sanders is not.